Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Robert Rivera with Who's on First, the show, and today we're in the Ocala airport in Ocala, Florida, and we're having lunch today at a restaurant called Elevation 89, and we're having lunch with some special guests. They're owners of a baseball club. Which one? I'm going to keep you wondering, but we're going to go inside, we're going to have some lunch, we're going to talk to them. Let's go. All right, everybody. So remember I told you I was going to get you those baseball owners? There they are. Introduce yourselves, guys.
Paul and Christy Hack.
And they are owners for the
Casper Spuds in Casper, Wyoming.
We play in the Independence Baseball League.
Yeah, and I got a little gift from them. See, they got 2024 Independence Baseball Champions. They were this year. So tell me, how did this all come about?
It's
It was an accident.
yeah, it was
Happy
kind
accident.
of happy accident. Yeah, we got involved by hosting players, and we did that for a couple of years, and had one of those weird corner sidewalk conversations. Somebody had said that the local team was thinking about selling, and kind of asked if I'd be interested, and I made the mistake of saying yes. So we did that, and a couple of years went by, and the phone rang, and me and Christy had a conversation, and
I said, let's wait a couple years.
yeah, she said maybe not the right time, and so we waited a couple of weeks, and the phone rang again, and
He came home and said, oh, I forgot to tell you. I bought a baseball team today.
so
Of all the things to buy,
that's
of
how it
all the
happened.
things
Yeah.
to buy.
Yeah,
That's,
that-
would you ever think that he'd come home and
It
say,
was
"Hey,
the furthest thing from my
I
mind.
bought a baseball team. Maybe I
Yeah.
bought a cow or something." That would have been
Yeah.
more less of a shock than
Yeah,
I bought a baseball
exactly.
team. Wow. So I mean, now being owners, what have you guys learned? I mean, because I know everybody's a fan and they see all the pomp and circumstances and all that stuff. I mean, ownership, that's a whole different monster. I
It
mean,
is.
what is the one thing that you're like, wow, I'm glad we did this?
Relationships with the players, the families of the players, and our host families,
Right.
and our community has been the biggest reward for us.
Okay.
But there's a lot of planning that goes into everything. There's a lot of things that we didn't even think about going into it
Okay.
that you have to plan for and prepare or mathematize, which is not me.
Mathematize?
Lot of
right?
math.
Yeah, a lot of math.
A lot of math.
But that's Paul's strong point, is he's a salesman, so
Okay.
he can figure out those numbers.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's kind of baptism by fire, right? Like there's just no planning for it. You got to go through it. and our partner that the founder of the team, he kind of told us that, like, this is a labor of love, and you know, no matter how prepared you think you are, there's just going to be stuff in that day-to-day operation that you just can't prepare for. So year 2 went really, really well, and we learned a lot, and I'm sure we'll learn more next year. So
Okay, all right. So I mean, have any of your players have gone on from you guys and gone on into the leagues, into the minor leagues?
We haven't had any personally in our 2 years. Just, you know, most of our guys are actually, we just
Still
have,
had college eligibility,
still have some
so they
eligibility
came
left,
back.
yeah.
We had 10 returners from
Okay.
our first year, and 4 of those returners were actually also returners from the first year that the Spuds ever played in Idaho. So we were really fortunate and very blessed to have a culture that we had helped build with the
Right.
team, that these guys wanted to come back.
Okay.
So
but yeah, we have guys that have talent and really have
Absolutely.
potential of doing that. The league has had a number of guys move on. A couple of guys that play on the Bananas, a couple of guys that have been drafted. So the potential is there for sure.
Okay. I mean, these guys really have some baseball skills.
Yeah.
There's no, because I tell you, I'm part of the Bananas, and I was really surprised at their skill sets. These guys can actually play some ball. I know they do all the flipping and tricks and all that stuff, but I mean, so doing the ownership. I mean, what is some of the things that you're like, oh, we got to do this again? I know this. Just something subtle, something easy that nobody sees that you guys that has to get done. You ever had to cut somebody or tell them, hey, listen, you can't play with us?
Yeah, a couple unfortunate situations where guys have made some mistakes and learned some lessons and had to go home. And then, you know, for as far as like things you're like, oh gosh, we got to do this. It's feeding of the players, right? So we feed pre and post game meal to both our team and the visiting team, and it's a lot of work. But as Christy said, relationships, and we have some really good people involved that make some of that stuff easier. So take some of that out of our plate.
And I remember talking to Christy, and the baseball community is not as big as everybody thinks it is.
it's everybody knows somebody from somewhere.
Somewhere,
And,
yeah.
Yep. So
We've got guys from all corners of the country. We had a kid from the Virgin Islands this year.
Okay.
And, you know, being a team in Wyoming, you just wouldn't think we'd be that connected, but we get guys from Florida, we get guys from Georgia, California,
Pennsylvania, this
Oregon, Washington, yeah, and then, like I said, Virgin Islands. So
They're all over.
Yep, yeah, and these are young men that have been dubbed by somebody to have potential to go.
Well, and
So-
these guys, you know, they play 58, 63 games together
Right.
throughout the season. They learned that even in their colleges that they go to, they've played each other in their conferences and didn't know it.
Yep.
And now they're on the same team here, and they built this new bond, and it's great.
You know, it's
Okay.
really fun to watch.
Wow, that's.
So.
I can't think of all. I mean, uniforms. Talk to me about uniforms. I mean, that's another.
Yeah, it's just those are things, right? Like you don't. When I come home and say, "Hey, we bought a baseball team," you think, you know, we're just going to show up to the ballpark and baseball's going to happen. And
Right.
Yeah.
Uniforms, equipments, bats, transportation, player food, hotels. There's a lot that goes into it, but it's all worth it.
Concessions.
You know, we
Equipment
dogpiled this
for-
year, so it was all worth it.
Did you ever have to be like a mom and dad to a kid, and somebody who's homesick and be like, hey, I really wish I was home back in Arizona, you know? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, that's where the labor of love comes in too. These guys truly, really become our family. You know, they're an extension of our family, and we keep up with them in their schools all year long. And some of them have gone off and gotten married, and you know, have jobs, moved to other parts of the country, and we just keep up with them. And hey, check in every once in a while. Hey, how's it going? And you know,
Wow.
oh, good to hear from you, or you know.
that'd be something. You had a player come
It's
back
great.
2-3 years later and be like, hey, this is my baby,
Yeah.
this is my wife.
Absolutely,
That's,
it's great.
That's incredible. My goodness. I mean, so tomorrow I want to be a baseball owner. I'm coming to you guys and I say, hey man, I got a team. I want to.
We didn't learn it in one day for sure. I mean, we had a lot of great help with the founder of the team, and we have another partner that lives in Colorado as well, and so it's a joint effort. It's not just Paul and I. We just are the feet on the ground for the team in Wyoming.
So would you tell me to do it, or would you tell me to stay away from it? What would you
do it? Do it. And yeah, that is one of the roles we're taking on this year, is kind of helping the Independence League grow and look for teams and identify areas that could hold teams. We'd love to see another couple teams in Wyoming.
Okay.
We've got teams in Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, and we'd like to see that grow a little bit.
Maybe down to Colorado,
Utah, Montana. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a growing league. It's a place where coaches want to send their players for the summer, and we're excited to be a part of that.
Okay, maybe we could start something here in Ocala, Florida.
The Eastern Division.
The Eastern. We do the Eastern Division. That's a heck of a road trip.
It'll be.
That's a heck of a road trip.
Yeah.
Woo,
It's our furthest road trip is about an 11-hour bus ride. So I don't know if we can convince them to go 23, 24.
Wow, 11-hour bus ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about the bus leagues. Whew, man.
Casper, Wyoming to Fremont, Nebraska. It's about an 11-hour bus ride. So.
Okay. So I mean, what's the good stuff in Casper, Wyoming? Anything good out there? Anything?
The Spuds.
The Spuds, absolutely.
The Spuds.
Wyoming's a great place for a baseball team because there's a lot of things to go do on your off days aside from just playing baseball.
Okay.
Wyoming, or our team, the Spuds, is right in the middle of the state in Casper. We're about 2.5 to 4 hours from just about anything else there is to do, but there's a lot of great scenery, a lot of great fishing, a lot of great hunting, hiking, backpacking, whatever you want to do. There's all of that stuff around there. So.
Yeah, we get some of these kids that have never been outside of the city or whatever, so they get to experience the mountains and the reservoirs and go fishing and go hiking, and they just really enjoy their time, and our guys and our host families really do a good job of ingraining them in the community, and they get to experience some stuff that maybe they have never experienced before outside of the baseball field.
You ever get the whole town in that stadium over there? The Walmart shuts down. Everything
we
shuts
did
down.
max capacity this year for 4th of July.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had the biggest crowd at the stadium. We're pretty fortunate. We've got a really nice field and a facility the Rockies built back in 2000 and had a rookie ball team there before they shrunk down, and so it's a great facility. We can fit, I think we probably can fit twice as many people as anybody else in the league, so we had really close
I think we had almost 2,200 people in there.
2,470 would be the number.
Wow. 2,400 people.
We had to turn some people away, so it was,
That's more people than the White Sox games this year. I think what was the number the other day? I think in White Sox game 17. I think that's what
it was pretty sad.
Was it really?
Yes, it was pretty.
They comped a couple tickets. They got to 18.
They got to 18. So it's interesting. But yeah, man, this is something great. And I'm thinking maybe I should buy a team. I'm looking at maybe not. Maybe I buy a car.
We'll probably have to do an indoor facility. So we got a little AC.
It's a little AC here in Ocala, Florida. Yeah, man. These other teams, they come from all over. Where the other teams come from?
So we have a team in Spearfish, South Dakota. That's the Spearfish Sasquatch. Then there's Fremont, Nebraska. That's the Fremont Moo.
Oahe Zap,
in Pierre, South Dakota. There is
Nebraska Prospects out of Omaha. There's the Plainsmen
North
out of
Platte Plainsmen.
Bison out of South Dakota as well.
Yep. And I'm missing one.
Hastings,
Southwestern.
Hastings, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do you guys do anything like spectacular? I know you were doing something with the flowers. You had told me with the flowers.
Oh, yeah. So we always pick a lady of the game or
sweetheart
of the game.
Okay.
And, we used to give bouquets of flowers, but I like to make it a little more personal. So I pick 5 guys who are hanging out in the dugout and send them out with a flower apiece and make them spread the love throughout the stands. And it's nice. A nice little thing, the little girls love it, the grandmas love it, and we get requests for, it's my mom's birthday and she's here, can so and so take a flower? And We have a fifth inning dance party, so I'll take Spuds that are not playing in the game at that particular moment of the inning and send them throughout the stands as well. And we do a little YMCA, so it's a
really
good time.
Minor league style feel. So you're entertained from the time you get to the ballpark, time you leave. It's, you know, the fun part is I always tell somebody you don't have to love baseball to come to a game, right? And that's access to players. The kiddos are having a great time. And there's just always something going. A lot of energy, a lot of fun, and you know,
anything we can do to keep the fans happy and entertain the fans, because they're the reason that we're there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
What's the price of a ticket?
we have tickets are $10, so we have $10 GA, $10 reserve. It's this year we had 8 and 10. Next year it'll just be straight $10 across the board, and you know, the first 2,500 people that show up can get a ticket. So
all right, well there you go. I mean, so if somebody wants to get some of this apparel here, it's nice to have. We got some Spud shirts. What's it?
SpudsBaseball.com.
Yep. Championship shirts.
Championship shirts.
Season tickets are on sale.
Season tickets, absolutely.
Spudsbaseball.com. That's where we go. And you guys ever get recognized? Hey, those are the owner of the Spuds. We're gonna give them a free ice cream.
No, not usually. We'll get a wave. We get a wave, and thanks for bringing baseball back. You know, after the previous team left, and or you know, we had a really good time. Thanks for putting on the fireworks show, that kind of thing.
We
It's a
play
good time.
55 games a season. 33 of those are at home, and so it's a lot of fun.
Okay. So what was one of the lessons that you learned from being an owner? What was the one thing you're like, oh boy, I didn't know that.
Oh gosh,
There's so many lessons, right? That one that kind of like shocked you, like
there
really?
are a lot. I don't know. What do you think?
You know, there's just weird, you know, like, and this is going to be terrible, but like the janitorial side, right? Like cleaning toilets, like things you just, like I said, when you say you're going to buy a baseball team, you think you just show up and baseball happens. And there's just so much more that goes into it. And yeah, it's hard to pinpoint one thing, but there's always something different every night. You hear, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of craziness that happens.
So if you want to be an owner, be ready to be surprised.
Yes.
A good and bad.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Everybody is there to help, right? So being the owner doesn't mean that we're not emptying trash cans or helping people find their seats or
Wiping down seats after a little rain spurt, or
field prep. We do. I've learned how to maintenance a field and how to fix sprinklers occasionally. And
we're washing uniforms every day. We're
I don't want to be in that.
Vacuuming locker
I changed my
rooms.
mind, Mr. Wizard. I don't want to be an owner anymore.
No, it's a lot of fun. It's 2 months of go, and then we take a month or two to reflect, and then get right back at it again. So it's fun.
All right. Well, listen, guys, thank you for being on. I appreciate it. I see you're shaping all these young men into be Major League Baseball players, and hopefully they get in there and they're a little green, and by the time they leave you, they have a couple bruises on them.
We just hope they leave better humans, right? Baseball's, like I said, it's a minor part of it for the fans, for the players, getting some experience, some things they may not experience, and leave better people.
Absolutely. That's what baseball does. It shapes people into better
life lessons.
Lessons. Have you had any female baseball players come through yet?
We haven't yet.
We're waiting on a couple of those. Maybe a lady umpire. Yeah. Maybe a lady umpire.
Lady umpire, interns, and
Okay, and we got a lady player out there.
Coach.
Oh, lady coach, manager, absolutely. So how do you guys pick the manager? Who picks the manager?
It's an interview process. We were very fortunate. Last year we made a coaching change in the middle of the season, which was not planned.
That part was not fortunate.
Definitely not planned. We had a gentleman who was from the South who had never been to Wyoming, and it was not the place for him. So one of our players had a contact with James Batten, our coach, and he drove a day and a half and showed up and put a uniform on and coached a game, and we haven't lost the division since. So.
Oh wow! Yeah. Okay, so maybe it was
he won the second half last year, first half this year, second half this year, and then brought us the championship.
Well, I guess it's an unfortunate, fortunate type of situation.
Yes. But one of those things that you just don't plan for. You know, you're in a position you have to let your coach go, and then you say, oh gosh, what are we going to do? And we had a great assistant coach last year who helped us out. He's still undefeated. We'll throw that out there. Cheers to you, Andrew. You know who you are.
You know who you are. When the owners know you, you're good. You're doing good.
But yeah, baseball's a small world, like we were saying, and so to have James be able to come in just because a couple of players knew him, he knew them when they were little kids,
right?
And now they are on the same field, literally. It's been great.
Wow, that's amazing.
This year, our head coach was from Fort Worth, Texas area, and our assistant coach was Massachusetts. And somehow they were connected and knew each other through baseball. Shows you kind of how small that community is. It's crazy.
So now when you tell people you guys are baseball owners, they think you're millionaires, right? They think, whoa, these guys got big money.
At first they don't really know what to expect. They're like, what? Really?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
But there's so many different levels of this, right? Like collegiate wood bat is, and we play at a high level, but if we weren't out there working every day, it wouldn't happen. So it is a labor of love.
Always keep working. You always got to keep working.
We would like to say we have the highest winning percentage of any collegiate summer ball team in the nation. So 28 leagues, including Canada and Alaska, we had the highest winning percentage this year. We only lost 10 games. So
all right,
3 home games, 10 games total. So over 800.
Does the weather cooperate with you guys sometimes?
Sometimes. Last year we lost 7 games?
5 games. We made 7. We made
7 games out of the weather.
Due to what? Snow?
Sometimes we didn't. It was all rain.
It has snowed on opening day before.
It has happened.
End of May. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I live in Florida, folks. And that's why they live in Florida now too.
yeah. We're gonna winter here and get away from that.
Get away from the winter and then head back for the season. So.
Okay, all righty. Well, guys, thanks for being on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And man, I tell you, maybe tomorrow I'll go home as an owner. What do you think, Mo? No. I'm better off buying
Keep
a
working
cow.
on it.
Keep working on it. All right. Well, thanks you guys for being on. I appreciate it. And everybody, as we always say, keep swinging.
Me a favor. Subscribe. Right. You see it? It's right there. Subscribe, share, like, and don't forget, put that bell on. It'll ding you when I put something else on, all right?